But we lost a good friend of ours in our political party. Mr. Charlie Kirk was tragically gunned down this afternoon by assassin's bullet. But he will not die in vain, just like John F. Kennedy didn't die in vain. Robert F. Kennedy didn't die in vain. Martin Luther King did not die in vain. Anybody that's been tragically killed in the past that I just mentioned, they did not die in vain, and neither will Charlie Kirk, one of the beautiful souls taken away because of the corrupt Kenites of old have corrupted themselves into nothing more than a left-wing monarchy called Democrats. And anybody believes this way should die with them. This is so fucking ridiculous. This is beyond ridiculous. Anybody that celebrates the death of this man, and I've seen some videos online, people celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Just because you disagree with somebody, you must be the lowest of people celebrating the death of a person that had a family, had a 3-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son, and a beautiful wife at home. How dare you celebrate that? You're the lowest of people. You ain't got no soul, period. You got a soul, alright, but it's a black heart and consistence of it. Because for 4 years straight, longer than that, you have pushed this hatred, this hate towards the mega movie. Because you don't agree with somebody doesn't give you the damn right to speak your fucking mind on your fucking YouTube channels and all this other crap. It doesn't give you the right to laugh and make fun of somebody that died. Well, you want somebody to laugh when you die? Is that what you all want? Do you want somebody to laugh while you dying? Or when you die, is somebody just get on a video, TikTok video and start laughing? Cackling? So I guess he's dead. It takes the lowest of people to do something like that. It's beyond me what this country has become in the last 5 or 6, 10 years. I never thought I would see the day that this country turns into something like it's turning into. I'm a little older than Charlie Kirk, but he had no right to die. He had no right to be assassinated by assassin's bullet. And he doesn't have the right to have everything he worked for to be tarnished by these fucking corrupt politicians and these left-wing nutheads that need to be taken off of YouTube. And there's several of them on here. Here's one of them right now.
I want you to think about this for a moment. This person says that I am mentally ill because I made a video saying that gun violence has no place in our society, let alone our political discourse, and that I don't weep for Charlie Kirk, but this is something that should never happen. And then I stated the fact that Charlie Kirk very recently said that it is worth having some gun deaths in the United States of America in order to protect the Second Amendment. If reciting what Charlie Kirk said about people dying at the hands of gun violence in this country makes me mentally ill, then what the fuck does it make Charlie Kirk who said it? He said, it is worth having some gun deaths in this country in order to protect the Second Amendment. Well, he is now a gun death in this country. He gave the ultimate sacrifice in order to protect his Second Amendment. This is not gloating. This is disgusting what fucking happened. We should not have a gun violence problem like this in this country. We should not have a problem in this country where a guy cannot sit on the campus of a fucking college and talk to people about the issues of the day without taking one to the fucking chest or the throat or wherever he took it from. It's grotesque. It should never fucking happen. But you're telling me I'm mentally ill for saying that.
See, he don't play the way he said beforehand.
I love content where I have to put very little effort into it. This person
See
said
that was 2 months ago. Called him a racist. Yes, Charlie Kirk is incredibly racist. That was 2 months ago. But no, they're not spreading hate, are they? They're not spreading hate, are they? That was 2 months ago. They're not spreading hate. That's exactly what they're fucking doing. They're spreading hate on everyone they go into. You see how this guy's lying? And now listen to this. This was 2 months ago.
I love content where I have to put very little effort into it. This person says, what has Charlie Kirk said that is racist? I don't even have to tell you. All I gotta do is roll the footage.
Black Americans, about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes.
About half of all prisoners are black.
Exactly.
So blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders, they commit more arsons, they commit more kidnappings. For example, blacks are 13% of the population and they commit 58% of all the murders.
Okay, let's talk about it. These are obviously racist claims, but I will respond to them as if Charlie Kirk were a reasonable person.
Black Americans, about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes.
About half of all prisoners are black.
Wrong. Just 38% of America's prison population is black. That's according to the U.S. government. It makes you wonder why Charlie feels the need to add an additional 12% to the black prison population. Could it be because his bigoted talking points only work if he exaggerates? If Charlie were actually looking for the race that makes up half the prison population in the U.S., he'd look no further than white people at 57%.
So blacks commit more crimes than whites do.
Wrong. The word so is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence.
So blacks commit more crimes.
He's saying so, as in therefore, as in one could conclude, but Charlie knows he's lying. Even if he hadn't just lied about the black prison population, Charlie is smart enough to know that correlation does not equal causation, but he's hoping that you don't know that. So he deploys the word so to make you think he's coming to an obvious conclusion.
So blacks
Instead, he's making an illogical, racist leap. Charlie knows that we don't have usable data about who commits crimes. It's impossible to have that data since so many crimes go both unreported and or unsolved. Charlie knows that we only have data about arrests and convictions. I'll come back to that data in a moment. What's painfully obvious is that Charlie Kirk isn't interested in understanding the statistics he so carelessly misquotes. He's interested in making bad faith arguments, something that becomes even more obvious in his next point.
Blacks are 13% of the population and they commit 58% of all the murders.
Wrong again, and loud this time. If Charlie were interested in honesty, he would have mentioned the other 1350 statistic. Yes, black people are about 13% of the population, but make up 53% of all criminal exonerations. In fact, black people make up 55% Of all murder exonerations, specific black people are more likely than any other group in this country to be convicted of crimes they did not commit. And then people like you have the nerve to parade these stats around as though they prove something. The reality is that you probably know these stats, but you leave them out on purpose. Because to bring that stat into this conversation would make some people think. And that's the last thing a person like you wants.
Black Americans, about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes.
About half of all prisoners are black.
Exactly.
So blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders, they commit more arsons, they commit more kidnappings. For example, blacks are 13% of the population and they commit 58% of all the murders.
Okay, let's talk about it. These are obviously racist.
Sorry, obviously that video looped around over time. And then, of course, there's this video from Juneteenth of this year.
Okay, everybody, a lot of people are going to be saying Happy Juneteenth. It should not be a federal holiday, and I'm on my way to work. Have a good day.
Why shouldn't it be a federal holiday? You don't want to celebrate freedom? You don't want to acknowledge our own past mistakes? What's the reason why? Are you opposed to freedom? Are you anti-freedom? Charlie Kirk has said a lot of racist shit because Charlie Kirk isn't a racist bucket of shit.
You want him to hide the truth and not be honest.
An honorable and noble man. I'm never at a loss for words on this channel.
Oh, before we get to him, you think that's the only one he's talked trash about? I think the only one.
Yesterday,
Your car donation directly supports those who served. To Vehicles for Veterans, your donation provides real help to veterans in need. You'll also support the families of fallen heroes. Make a meaningful impact. Visit vehiclesforveterans.org.
We have this house for the weekend.
We also booked this house.
Someone wanted all of us here.
If you leave now, there are things about each other.
I'm never at a loss for words on this channel until this moment. I have no words. Perhaps it's for the best. This afternoon, Charlie Kirk was taken home by his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, when a gunman shot Charlie in the neck from 200 yards with a rifle on a Utah college campus, ending his life. Charlie Kirk died exactly how he lived, speaking the truth, bringing salt and light into the world and into darkness. Charlie Kirk's legacy will be that of a martyr. Charlie Kirk is an American martyr. He is a Christian martyr. He died for his faith and his country. Charlie Kirk died speaking the truth. He died giving commentary on left-wing violence. These were the last words that he spoke on this earth before a maddening gunman with a single shot took his life. It now falls to us to rise up with full hearts, to venerate Charlie's legacy by defeating the evil which stole Charlie from us. God help us. This is America's turning point. Charlie has been a friend to me when my family faced a life-threatening emergency brought about by obscene, dangerous, radical left-wing policies in Washington, D.C. Charlie offered me his home here in Florida so that I could move my family to safety. I've worked with Charlie for 10 years at Turning Point USA. We've built many things together. We've done many trips together. We've spoken at many events together and shared the stage together more times than I can count. I have never in my life met someone with more vision, moral clarity, and honor than Charlie Kirk, who is survived by his beautiful wife, Erica, and his two precious children. An honorable and noble man. You cannot find a better one. Charlie Kirk is a martyr now, and my heart is bitter. I'm completely at a loss. But Charlie's heart was always hopeful. God worked through him. We all saw it in prophetic ways. And now we must defeat the evil that Charlie spent his life fighting against. truly a turning point in our nation. So as I compose myself to talk through this issue with you and to begin to build on Charlie's legacy alone, which I cannot enumerate the number of times that Charlie stuck his neck out for me, defended me, when I was indefensible, frankly. I will have a steely and hardened resolve to continue in my own poor way the work that Charlie so nobly advanced, and we must all. President Trump, the great and legendary Charlie Kirk, is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth of the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies will go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and his family. Charlie, we love you. In honor of Charlie Kirk, a truly great American patriot, I am ordering all flags throughout the United States lowered to half-mast till Sunday evening at 6 p.m. This is what Charlie is leaving behind. President Trump giving commentary on Charlie Kirk to Brett Baer today, saying all of this violence cannot happen. Charlie was an amazing guy, and he captured the youth, the imagination of the youth. He was an unbelievable patriot, and he really convinced millions of young people that MAGA was the way. Today is so sad. He was an amazing person who was not afraid to talk to or confront the other side. Just talk to them, debate them, and explain why they were wrong and MAGA was right. Nobody was better. This is a tragic day, says President Trump. As you can see, flags lowered to half-mast here. One of Charlie's final posts on X is, Jesus defeated death so you can live. Greg Gutfeld saying it quite nicely here. If you think this is going to stop us or deter us, well, F you.
From all of us, and Jesse's right, if they can do this, they are capable of anything. I think that was the message. I believe that was the message. It's really hard to radicalize Republicans.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're not the radical type, but if you thought that you were going to shut a movement down, you're going to get a rude awakening. You woke us the fuck up.
Never heard a hard F-bomb dropped on Fox like that without a censor. So it appears that we mean it this time. Charlie Kirk's only activity, and I will not be showing any of the videos of the event, will not. Charlie Kirk's only activity on the day that he was shot was to peacefully explain, debate, argue, or agree with any American that wished to talk with him. An open and peaceful dialogue. Always. You've seen the clips. They're some of the most viral clips on the entire internet, going thermonuclear on TikTok, X, YouTube, Instagram, Charlie Kirk was killed because he was so effective and he was properly changing the hearts and minds of our nation and our youth. This is a political assassination. It is a religious martyrdom. It is an American martyrdom. And it can be seen no other way. Charlie Kirk was killed for free speech. He was killed, murdered, and assassinated for what he believed in, which was, with his whole heart, America, the principles of this nation, which are free and open debate, so that we don't have to engage in violence. But they couldn't help themselves. It was too good. Charlie won the debate, and so when you lose, the only recourse of the loser is to kill. Force. Now I believe, ladies and gentlemen, we will see distinct and severe change in this nation. And it will be the legacy of Charlie that kicked it all off. The true turning point. Fox News did a in memoriam for Charlie. I thought it was beautiful. And so, ladies and gentlemen, there'll be more in the coming days. But those are my thoughts, my deep, real, on my knees prayers for Charlie's surviving family. It falls to us to lift them up. Pray. Pray now. Pray real prayers for them. A memorial for Charlie.
Charlie Kirk is being remembered tonight as a hugely influential, charismatic, and engaging individual committed to civil discourse and the open exchange of ideas. Correspondent Mark Meredith looks back at the life of Charlie Kirk. Good evening, Mark.
Right, good evening to you. Charlie Kirk's death is being called a watershed moment or even a turning point for the country. The 31-year-old political activist had a massive following, both online and in the corridors of power here in Washington. Before becoming a household name in conservative politics, Charlie Kirk was a teenager growing up in the Chicago suburbs. He told the Daily Caller in 2019 he knew early on politics mattered.
I was always naturally conservative, loved America, loved the values that our country stood for, and I never understood why you'd want to deviate from that.
Kirk thought he'd end up at West Point, the Army's military academy, but after being denied admission, he chose to start something for himself.
It's that old adage, one door closes, another door opens. Of course, it's correct.
In summer 2012, Turning Point USA was born. What started small later became a political juggernaut, a conservative youth activist organization now operating on 3,500 high school and college campuses. Kirk explained what drove him in his first Fox appearance 13 years ago.
A lot of kids are feeling the effects of what we like to call, with the Washington economy, with a lot of debt, plummeting small business, with higher regulation and high taxes.
As the Tea Party movement evolved, Turning Point USA grew. So did its influence. The AP writing Turning Point events became more ornate, taking on a nightclub atmosphere with strobe lights, pyrotechnics, and thousands of young conservatives in attendance. Kirk endorsed then-candidate Donald Trump in 2016 and later worked to re-elect him in 2020.
I believe it's imperative we get the president reelected. In fact, I think he's going to get reelected.
As Trump later regrouped for 2024, Kirk continued to build an empire and a family. He married his wife, Erica, in 2021 and later became a dad of two. Trump himself thanked Kirk for staying loyal amid a year of chaos.
And I want to express my tremendous gratitude to Charlie Kirk. He's really an amazing guy.
With Trump now back in power, Kirk remained active, speaking out constantly about the conservative movement.
There's a revival happening in this country right now.
Tonight, tributes continue to pour in for a man many believe helped change the course of U.S. political history.
When you work on cars as much as I do, you learn what matters most.
This has been one of the single darkest days in the history of the American Republic, where we have seen the face of evil, and it's overwhelming. President Trump has just eulogized Charlie Kirk from the Oval Office. Charlie Kirk was cut down in the prime of his life, a father, a noble and honorable good man, and there's not many of them, somebody who I considered a friend. And I wouldn't be back on here were it not for President Trump's words, because what President Trump has crystallized here in his address from the Oval Office about Charlie was not just Charlie's legacy, but also what the Trump administration will be attacking, what the Trump administration and the top law enforcement official in the world, in our nation, President Trump, sees as the cause, and he is correct. The violent rhetoric and psychopathic language that the left signals to its base is wholly to blame for this. President Trump called it out square, and it needs to be heard. Here you go.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed because together We will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
President Trump was friends to Charlie Kirk. They go way back. And I have no doubt that Charlie Kirk's legacy is just beginning. Charlie Kirk is a martyr, and when you kill a martyr, you make him more powerful. Kill a man, you take away his power. Make a martyr, well, you just begin the path to power for the legacy of Charlie Kirk. In our own poor and inadequate way, we were able to give our eulogy for Charlie on Fox News tonight. Here's that. Pray for Charlie and his family.
Annie, I want to start with you. I know Charlie respected you so much and loved you so much. Your thoughts tonight?
The Lord Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, took home his servant, Charlie Kirk, to be with him right now in paradise. I don't know why. It is hard to bear, and it is hard to overcome. But this I do know, Laura, Charlie Kirk is a martyr. Charlie Kirk is an American martyr. Charlie Kirk is a Christian martyr. Charlie Kirk gave his life for this country and for his faith. He died as he lived, spreading salt and light to some of the darkest corners of our nation and culture, and living with a full heart. And we must rise up with that same full heart and venerate him and remember him by continuing his work. And that work would be this: to defeat the blackened evil that is overcoming our culture right now and fight it back with truth and good and light. Charlie always had a hopeful heart, and he always had a positive outlook. He is the single most honorable and noble, passionate visionary I have ever known or will ever know. There will never be another one like him. God called home his servant today, and we must all set about the work and the business of honoring Charlie by defeating that evil. God help us. This is America's turning point. And to live boldly, I believe that by striking down Charlie Kirk, you will have made him so powerful and his message so resonant to the young fathers and young people with whom he was affecting. And this is why Charlie Kirk was taken from us today. This is a political assassination, Laura. I believe that Charlie Kirk would have been president one day. I believe that in my heart of hearts. And that this was a political assassination. I've known Charlie for 10 years. I've worked with him hand in glove. I've shared the stage with him more times than I can remember, and been a part of great builds and exciting events and moments. And I saw and witnessed him working behind the stage. There was a prophetic calling on his life. This was a political assassination because Charlie Kirk was doing the impossible. He was changing the hearts and minds of young people across this nation en masse, including your children, and I'm sure mine. Mine are quite young right now, but even they had met Charlie, and there was something truly, truly powerful about his presence. And I want to just take this opportunity to state that we cannot forget that that is why Charlie was cut down today. Because he was so effective, because he was winning, because he had won the argument. And take a moment, Laura, to say, please, please, God, please, I beg of your audience, pray for beautiful Erica and her two sweet children.
Do you have a photo that's just sitting there doing nothing?
Real prayers on our knees for them today and tonight.
There's so many young people and others going to church tonight. holding vigils in prayer together. And again, tonight a martyr.
A martyr, and someone who cared so deeply about family, the American family, and the American child. He devoted his entire life to it well before he had children. He inspired me to have children and was constantly asking me, when am I going to have babies after I got married? Constantly. Now, this is a young man who was in his young 20s when that Rush Limbaugh clip would have happened in 2018. Charlie Kirk is somebody who, the year after that, provided something that I will never forget, and a story that I've never told anyone, Laura, and I will tell you right now. There was a horrific fire on my block in Washington, D.C., right after a mass shooting when D.C. defunded their police. We had just brought home our newborn baby, and the lives of my wife and my newborn child was under threat. And we felt horribly vulnerable, and we felt truly like we had nowhere to go. Charlie Kirk allowed me and my wife and my family, my young family, to stay in his condo here in Florida, and to search for a new home, to have refuge and shelter when our home had been horribly fire damaged and when bullets rang out on my block that could have struck my family. And Charlie was there for us, and he never asked for anything in return. This is why, in fact, I live in Florida. He has quintupled since then in children and in blessings, and it's because of Charlie. Extrapolate that to tens of, if not hundreds of millions of young lives who Charlie has affected, and what you are seeing on your screen right now is perhaps the single most effective spokesperson for the American dream that we've ever seen or witnessed in our lives. That's why he is an American martyr and a Christian martyr, and we will continue his work. God bless
Alex
Charlie
and
Kirk.
Benny, both of you, thank you so much tonight.
But it's good that he's finally turned heel. I was hoping he would.
Brand new bombshells from Charlie Sheen.
One day, I got an 18-hour nosebleed from doing too much cocaine.
Charlie's ex, Denise Richards, emotional and pushing past her tears in the two-part Netflix doc that dropped this morning.
Sorry. No, I don't care if they record. It's okay. No, they should record. The truth is, I feel like my life with Charlie is 3 stages. It's the time I met him and
Superman doesn't just have 120. You ready?
You have 12 days to outwork the Democrats, and that is my main message to you here.
conservative influencer Charlie Kirk, who founded the Republican Youth Org Turning Point USA, has died after a shooting in Utah. He was 31 years old. Police say Charlie was shot and killed at a Utah Valley University rally on Wednesday. It was one of many regular stops he's made around the country in his time as a political commentator, setting up a tent ready to debate anyone who wanted to. He shared this look at the crowd on TikTok just hours before. Video from the event shows the chaos that erupted. Warning, this may be disturbing.
Oh my God.
Trump reacting to the news on social media, sharing how much he admired Charlie and calling for all American flags to be lowered to half-mast in his honor. The Illinois native is survived by his wife Erica and their 2 children.
Every human being is made in the image of God, and so they deserve human rights. But at the same time, we have an obligation to our fellow citizen and fellow, hopefully, brothers in Christ one day, or sisters, to lie to them.
Get your